You're probably not overjoyed with your parking charge notice from Parking Awareness Services. And the immediate question is, should you pay or appeal? If you think you've been served this ticket unfairly, then you should definitely appeal. I'll move on to my top 5 ways to appeal your Parking Awareness Services ticket in a minute. But first, it's important to understand that private parking tickets are more like an invoice than a fine. Now, the reason that you've been landed with one is because the operator believes that you haven't abided by the rules that should be clearly signposted when you drive in. The moment you drive into Parking Awareness Services car park, they're watching you like a hawk to make sure that you follow their parking procedures. But sometimes they get it wrong. ANPR cameras have been known to read registrations incorrectly. Also, thanks to new legislation, there's more leniency for human error on the driver's part, so you may have more reasons to appeal than you originally thought. If you choose to appeal, then you've got 28 days from receiving the ticket to do so, and that puts any further actions on hold. You can appeal in 3 ways. You can email, you can post, or you can do it online. The evidence is crucial though, so get as much as you possibly can. I'll tell you why it's best not to ignore your parking fine after my 5 great reasons to appeal your Parking Awareness Services ticket. Number 1. You were within the grace period, so you're entitled to 10 minutes after your ticket expires to get back to your car. So if you're only a couple of minutes after your allotted time, then you have a really strong case to appeal. Number 2, the signs weren't very clear. So for example, were they faded, hidden by trees, broken, or barely visible? What you'll need to do is get some photo evidence to back it up, so take as many as you can and a video if possible. Number 3, if you were unable to get back to your vehicle, this could be a medical emergency or something just as serious. Again, you'll need to be able to prove it. Number 4, you couldn't get back in time because you've got mobility issues. If you're disabled, pregnant, or you've got a really young baby, then the Equality Act says that you must be treated with understanding. And number 5, you were parked correctly, but an error was made. It happens. You've probably already got the hint by now, but the more you can prove it, then the better. It gives your appeal against Parking Awareness Services a better chance. Ignoring the parking ticket isn't advised. However, I do get asked a lot if these private firms can enforce the fines on private property. Technically, they can't demand payment, only a court can. But if Parking Awareness Services wins against you in civil court, both your pockets and credit history could be affected. Ignoring the fine might lead to legal consequences, and whilst it's not a certainty, there is a risk of being taken to court. Before it gets to that stage, you could be sent demand letters and potentially be contacted by debt collection agencies. If the operator takes legal action and wins, it could result in a negative mark on your credit score. A county court judgment would affect your credit rating for 6 years, making it harder to get credit and lower interest rates. Ultimately, the decision to pay or appeal a Parking Awareness Services fine rests on the evidence that the ticket might be unjust. If there's clear proof of violations by the operator, an appeal is definitely worth a go. However, if the fault clearly lies with you, especially for minor infringements, it might be wiser to pay up, ideally within that first couple of weeks so that you get that discounted rate. Should your appeal get rejected, there's another recourse. The Independent Appeals Services, they're called POPLA for short, could be your next step, but you need the official letter of rejection before proceeding. If you're still a bit undecided about whether to appeal and you want to speak to a professional, then you might want to have a chat with online solicitors JustAnswer. They're running a £5 trial and you can ask as many questions as you need to on the online chat to help you make up your mind. So I'll leave a link to them below this video for you. Good luck!